New artists and indie label executives think marketing is hard, which is why they feel that whatever they're doing, it may never actually work, and they'll keep going around in an endless loop. Now, it's taken me a while to understand the basic steps needed to get ahead of 99% of indie artists, but if you truly want to understand what you're doing wrong with marketing, I'll drop the solutions right here on today's episode of the Music Money Makeover Show. Now, this first thing is always a big topic for my audience as well as other people who just come to me for advice. And its ads are for awareness, not losing money. And let me show you what I mean by that. The key to advertising for music artists is to advertise for awareness and convert to followers first. Money is lost on converting cold audiences to streams or sales. You gotta change your expectations. You wanna focus on getting followers, then convert them later. When you do this, you gain the followers easier, even though this may seem counterintuitive to the whole ads process and to what you're doing. It would be best if you focus on awareness. Once this group is aware, then you can advertise to the warm group to sell. If you do it in reverse, you'll find that the results will not be what you were expecting. Only emotionally impacted people impulse buy or click through. And this is a lottery ticket process that I don't really want you to exercise and be a part of. So think about this. Have you actually ever clicked on an ad for an artist and then you wanted to click on their profile first before you actually clicked on the call to action? Really think about that. You see the music video popping. Your first thought is, if you're curious, I don't really want to go stream the song. Think about that. And this is what I want you to do in the comments. If you've seen an ad and you said, you know what, let me click on this profile first, I want you to put first in the comments section down there. And if you said, you know what, I really like this song, I'm gonna go directly to streaming, I want you to put second in the comment section beneath this video. Because I wanna take a poll and really see. If you really think about it, chances of you going directly to Spotify to stream when you don't know anything about this artist is almost, it's a very slim chance. We're talking less than 10%. At least I feel that. So I wanna see. If you click on the social media profile, once you see the ad on this artist, if you click that first to find out more info before you actually click the call to action to go stream, let me know what you would do. Put a 1 in there if you click on the profile, put a 2 in there if you would actually go and go directly to stream. Let me know. All right, so let's keep going. That's mistake 1. Now, when they stand still, you gotta move, man. So the grimiest part about marketing is actually promotions. However, it's the actual most rewarding part. Promotion is proactive movement in a marketplace, and all you have to do is move just a little bit more than the bedroom artist. That's it. Hang a poster up, slap up some stickers, drop flyers on cars and club parking lots and whatnot, and you can even hire a promotions company to do this for you. What will begin to happen is your local influence, will begin to rise, all by putting this effort in. So it'd be best if you took action in this way, whether it be physical or digital, because movement trumps inaction any day. And this is how you get ahead of 99% of artists out there. If you choose to stay in the bedroom, it will be way more difficult to get this type of growth that you're looking for. Promotion is the king of marketing. You gotta get up, you gotta move. For some of you all who've been in Atlanta long enough, you may remember the 4 Eyes movement. Promotion is proactive moving, right? Or movement in a marketplace. Atlanta was the market for 4 Eyes, the rapper. You saw them stickers up everywhere. Now, I don't recommend this for everybody because you actually will get fined by the city, right? But he did this in Atlanta. Same thing with DMX with It's Dark and Hell is Hot. When I think it was Tina Davis said that story about they hung up all the posters on the street lights early in the morning and everybody saw all these DMX posters. And it was crazy. They got fined by the city, but they were prepared to accept that fine for the spectacle, right? But it was proactive motion. They got on top of a U-Haul truck and stapled the signs to all of the light poles, and it worked. So if you have just a little bit of movement around your marketplace, around a specific event, whether it be a single release or an album release or whatever it is you have going, whether it is you step out on the street and you say, hey, take a listen to this song, tell me what you think, rate it 1 through 5, 30 seconds, go, boom, and you push it and you film it and you film that promotion and you post that on social media, but at the same time you get real-time updates from the people in the street, you can now activate yourself in your local market and you can show it on your social media profile so people can see that you're working and that you're not just sitting still. And the next thing you know, you'll be out there. You'll be out there and you will be the next requested artist. You see what I'm saying? And that's what promotion is all about. So here's the next step. You got to cover yourself because people are actually watching. And the sad part about new labels and artists is that they don't cover themselves, period. Most artists are so afraid of forward movement that if you simply got your story covered on one podcast a month, you'd actually be ahead of 60% of the artists in your region. Coverage is all about getting someone else to broadcast your story beyond your social media profile, your personal profile. The easiest way to do this is through podcasts. And when you're independent, this really, really works. Media coverage allows you to move through the market quicker than promotions because it handles all 5 aspects of marketing in one fell swoop. It's the queen of marketing, if you will, because if you leave this part out, I guarantee you'll have trouble keeping people connected to you, right? This allows you to do everything like the queen can move across the chessboard. So I want you to think about what information that you need on a person to tell somebody else about this person, right? And it usually comes from podcasts, right? So if you see a clip on a podcast and you're like, yo, that was dope. And then you go check out the whole interview because the clip was fire, then you're going to be like, yo, you got to check this out, and you'll share it. Now, if I'm already in awareness of you, awareness, that's even a word. If I'm already aware of you and I see that you did a podcast and I like your music and I like what you do, but I'm not completely sold because I'm a casual listener, but you do a podcast and now I get to know more about you, that's more word of mouth that I can spread about you because not only is your music dope, but then you're dope as a person. And so now I'm going to keep your name in my mouth and I'm telling everybody about you now, because I know a little bit more about you in your story. And this is what you must provide as an artist about you if you desire to actually be known. Because if you don't want to be known, then fine, that's cool. And I understand your positioning on that. However, at the same time, if you want to go to astronomical heights, the general public does have to know something about you. So you got to cover yourself. Now, what if I want to run Spotify ads? And look, I'm not stopping you, but what I am saying is running Spotify ads isn't the problem here. It's expecting cold traffic to actually convert to a sale, which is what the stream is. Okay. When you do this, and I've already explained it, but when you do this, it's very, very hard to get those people to come over. Like the ad has to be that good, even if I don't know you. However, if you want to run an ad, you do it. But if you understand what I'm saying about converting this cold traffic to, sales or streams, if you will, then I don't want you to actually avoid the Spotify ad. I want you to start with the warm traffic, the people that already know you, the people who follow you. And I want you to use your organic content that actually did well and run an ad against that for more awareness with a call to action to go stream. Right? Now, if you target the cold traffic first, you will get streams, but you'll struggle to convert, costing you way more money in the long run, right? But if you embrace this approach, you'll continue to build a sustainable fan base that will actually and naturally stream your music and engage with future releases. That's what you want. You see what I'm saying? So, what if I can't do any physical promotions in my city? I don't care what city you're in, you can do physical promotions. I don't care if you are in Greenwood, Mississippi, you can do physical promotions. And I've seen it done. That's in that physical city. I've seen it done. I've been there. I know you can do it. Physical promotion is not the problem. You just don't want to look amateur in the process. All right. But that you don't want to avoid it because of that. You want to promote your music. You can get around the physical promotion limitations by focusing on digital promotions. You can do this and use targeted social media ads and collaborate with people online or influencers or create engaging content for music blogs like the ones on Instagram and websites, right? You could also hire digital street teams or use guerrilla marketing tactics online. You can do this. But if you avoid all promotion, you'll remain unknown regardless of your talent. And if you embrace creative ways to promote and methods to promote, you'll build a following that grows organically through word of mouth and online sharing. And let me say this about the small town promotions. You really don't want to avoid that because those people will embrace you and love you for engaging with them. And this allows you to take over an area if you start small. So if you are in a small town, I would actually start in my town. I really would. If you are in Ocala, Florida, or if you are in, I'll go to my hometown, if you are in Savannah, Georgia, if you are in Orangeburg, South Carolina, if you are in, Cleveland, Mississippi, I keep going back to Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? If you are in Muncie, Indiana, you know what I'm saying? If you are in these places, start there first. Start there. You will take over that city. The next thing you know, it's like, yo, you got to know about this artist. And you go to the next small city. And you go to the next small city. The next thing you know, you got a market that nobody else has cornered. And you own that market. So when you get to the big market, people already know about you online because they see you working. You really got to move in this thing. I'm sorry, let's get off the soapbox. So what if my story is not interesting enough to be covered? Your story not being interesting enough isn't the reality in this particular situation. It's being afraid to open up and share who you really are. Look, every artist has doubts about their story, but that's no reason to actually shy away from the coverage. So you can make any story interesting by focusing on what makes you unique. Maybe it's your unusual day job or your creative process or the obstacles you push through personally. Even sharing what music shaped you or what drives you to create can be fascinating to others. If you keep holding your story or hiding your story, you'll miss out on connecting with fans who could really relate to your journey. But if you start opening up and you share authentically, you'll begin to build those real connections with your audience. It'll happen, and stand out from all the other artists trying to make it. It'll happen. I guarantee you it'll happen. So here's how you want to level up your music marketing game here. You want to start by treating your ads as awareness builders first, not direct sales tools. You want to focus on growing your follower base first, then convert them to streams and sales once they're familiar with you. Then you want to take consistent promotional action, both digital and physical. Even small efforts like putting up posters, again, like I said, running targeted social media campaigns put you ahead of inactive artists, right? Get your story covered through podcasts and media outlets. One podcast a month. That's all I want you to do. Push you ahead of 60% of the game of all the artists in your region because they ain't doing it. Now, if you got questions about this process, I want you to join the Music Money Makers community, and I'll see you at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live every Monday night. Okay? Because I'm gonna answer those questions quicker than you can think, plus the community will too. But the grand payoff in all of this is if you follow this marketing approach, you'll experience these powerful changes. Hear me out with this. Your follower growth will accelerate naturally because you're actually focusing on awareness first, allowing you to actually build a sustainable fan base that actually cares about your music. Your marketing budget will stretch even further since you're not wasting money trying to convert cold traffic, enabling you to invest in more effective promotional strategies. And then your story will actually gain more visibility through consistent media coverage, right? Helping you stand out in a crowded market and build genuine connections with potential fans. Finally, your promotional efforts will actually compound over time, creating a snowball effect that puts you leagues ahead of inactive artists in your space. This is hard work, I'm telling you. But if you continue doing it your way, I promise you, man, you'll waste thousands of dollars on ineffective ads targeting cold traffic, draining your marketing budget with minimal returns. And you'll feel increasingly frustrated and discouraged as your music reaches fewer people while watching other artists grow their following. And then you'll have to choose between, actually remaining an unknown bedroom artist or just completely starting over with your marketing after wasting all that precious time and resources. I don't get it sometimes, but at the end of the day, man, Music Money Makers, if you were struggling with ads, promotions, or media coverage, then implement some of these strategies, just one. You'll transform from a frustrated artist throwing money at ineffective strategies into a savvy music entrepreneur who actually knows how to build and engage their audience. And this is just the edge. This is just the edge of it all. So I want you to log on to musicmoneymakeover.com and grab the 60-day record label beneath this video right now today. Grab the free stuff. Jump into the Music Money Makers community right now today, and I'll see you every week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live on Monday nights. We'll answer a bunch of questions. We'll get in there. We'll kick it. We'll learn a lot from each other. Smash the like button. Tell me if you click on the profile first for more information, or if you'd actually just go directly to stream the artist's music from their advertisement. And guess what? I'll see you next time. Peace.